Hello, 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 everyone. It is so good to be back live with you on Facebook Live. My name is Florence Champagne. I am the CEO and founder of the Open My Heart Foundation. And I'm so excited to be here with you tonight to share some things with our special guests. We are having the topic of food is medicine. And what we do at the Open My Heart Foundation is like support groups, and we're calling it SOS, supporting our sisters. So this month's topic is food is medicine. According to the American Society for Nutrition, the world is facing a global epidemic of diet-related chronic diseases. We know about COVID, but also it's according to our diets. Chronic conditions is a disease that lasts more than 3 months or longer. 1 out of every 3 in the United States suffers from obesity. Do you believe that? Obesity, and the rate is higher for Blacks and Latinos. According to the CDC, about 40 million Americans are limited in their usual activities due to 1 or more chronic health conditions and are living not with just 1 chronic illness, such as diabetes or heart disease or depression even, but with 2 or more chronic illnesses. Almost a third of the population is now living with multiple conditions. And I have to say, including myself, as many of you know, I have a heart condition, coronary artery disease. I have high blood pressure. And I was told not too long ago that now I'm a borderline diabetic. I want to change that trajectory. And we have some people here to talk about it today. In 2009, according to the CDC, 7 out of 10 deaths in the United States were due to chronic illnesses. Heart disease, cancer, and stroke account for more than half of all deaths each year. According to the New England Journal of Medicine, people with chronic conditions receive only 56% of the recommended preventive healthcare services. What does that mean? We have to take our health into our own hands. We have to take matters into our own hands. Incurable and ongoing chronic diseases affect approximately 133 million Americans, representing 40% of the total population. So we are excited to have 2 awesome speakers here tonight who will share their testimonies. And I just want to give a disclosure. We are not doctors. We're just regular people who have overcome some of these diseases and who are making better health choices in our lives due to these illnesses. I want you to put your comments in the chat box if you're watching. If you have a question for them, this is going to be really, really good, y'all. So we are excited to have 2 awesome speakers who are friends of mine tonight to share their testimonies and why they made such a drastic change in their lives. The first up is Dr. Tasheka Green. Dr. Green has over 20 years of experience as an educator. She is an inspirational speaker, influential coach, 14-time best-selling author, entrepreneur, philanthropist, talk show host, and the founder and president and chief executive officer of To Everything There Is a Season Incorporated. Dr. Green has lost a significant amount of weight. That's what I want to talk about. And I want her to tell it. But in all of that, Dr. Green, should I also say health coach? Dr. Green, let's bring her on.
Exactly.
Let's bring her on.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
No problem. Thank you so much for joining us, Dr. Green.
Absolutely. I'm glad to be here.
Yes, yes. So, just, to ask you a few questions, you know, what made you make such a drastic
Mhm.
change before we get to the weight loss part? What was happening in your life?
Absolutely, Sharon. I'm Florence. I'm sorry. I just want to get myself situated here. So absolutely. So again, thank you so much for having me. And what really influenced and inspired me. And I always say, love was my motivation. Love was my motivation, and I wanted to just simply live. It started in 2018. Really. Was the point of transformation for me. I had went to the doctors. I was obese. I was at my largest weight ever, 280 pounds. At
Mhm.
that time, I was taking 4 hypertension medicines, you name it, lisinopril, metoprolol, hydrochlorothiazide, and I was pre-diabetes, high cholesterol, I had all of these different things going on. And my grandmother had already shed and passed away. Yet she passed away in 2019. This was in 2018, but she had heart conditions. Oh yeah, and I had a heart condition called tachycardia, which is rapid heart rate. So I was under the care of a cardiologist, under the care of a practitioner, all those type of things. And my grandmother had also had heart problems, and she was diabetic. My mom had passed away in 2010 from stage 4 stomach cancer, and then later in 2019, my grandmother did pass away due to heart failure. And so all of this was happening around me. And, I'm 40, I'll be 46 this year. I have 3 children, 24, 11, and 9. So at the time, what was that, about 4 years ago? And I looked at them and I looked at my husband and I said, I have to do better for them. I have to do better for them. I have to be around to see them. I have to be around to see my grandchildren. I have to do better. And just because, people in my family had it doesn't mean that I have to have it, nor do I have to live with it. And so when I went to the doctors on this very day, she was like, all you have to do is just eat right and exercise. And I'm like, that's the answer? And she was like, yes, just eat right and exercise. And I have a relationship too with my practitioner. So she's not one, again, she doesn't like just put you on medicine just because, right? And so, if you don't want to be on these medicines, you want to, do better. Mind you, it wasn't even about weight loss for me. It was about being there for my children, living and just making sure that I had this healthy lifestyle. And so when she said that, and one of my top strengths identified by Gallup Strength Finders is discipline. Is discipline. That if you tell me something once, you don't have to tell me twice. And so I leveraged one of my top 5 talents, which is discipline. And I started to say, what do I need to do? Because I'd already tried so many diets. I'd already tried so many fads, you name it. I did all of that. And how we start, we're so excited, we're into it, and we start to see the weight loss, or we start to see the inches come off, and then we get even more excited, and then
Right.
then we're like also holding ourselves back of oh, I can't have this, or I can't do this, all of that type of stuff. I did all of that. It didn't work for me. It did not work for me, and I realized it didn't work for me because I had to change this. I had to change
Yes.
my mindset. I had to change the way that I looked at myself first, the way that I looked at life, and the way I looked at what I was putting inside of myself. I'm going to be very transparent. Looked at surgery, nope, that's not for me. Looked at the sleep, nope, that's not for me. Thinking about all of those different things and what people need to do. But I realized that even if I had did all of those things and I still didn't know a way of eating and a way of living, then I was not going to gain what I really needed. And
Wow.
that's what I needed. And so when I changed my mindset and I began to look at things differently, and then that's when I just went towards, and I will talk about it a little later, a more vegan, plant-based type of lifestyle. I was also at an event, and it was called the Extreme Makeover Conference, hosted by Dr. Lisa M. Jones. And at this conference, it looked at, spiritual, mental, financial, physical, emotional. And so when the health coach that was there, Dr. Coach Rosalind Law, when she was there, she started to talk. And one thing about me being an educator, you know, I'm kind of critique when people start to teach. I'm gonna be honest, because that's my lane, right? And I was like, what's your research, right? You know, and so she started to pull out the research. I said, oh, she knows what she's talking about. And so after listening to her, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to take some of those things that I took from that conference, because most, you know, when we go to these conferences, we should take things, we should apply them, right? We should never come back to conference the next year the same way. And so we should take what we learned, apply it, and walk in it. And I did it. I took her learnings, I took her principles, you know, and everything, reached out to her. We even now do so many things together collaboratively. And I learned from her, and I began to address that issue that I've always had. It wasn't weight, it was this. It was the way I thought about what I was eating, how I was eating it. She, you know, she taught me about reading labels and knowing what you're putting in your system, and know exactly what, you know, the ingredients are, and know what your body needs in order to, you know, do the things that it needs to do. And so when I learned that from her, and I know you said, and you said at the beginning, can we say health coach? Not yet, but we're working on it. And so she would encourage me, you know, you need to go and get these certifications. So we're working on it. But I have the testimony, and we overcome by our testimonies. And so this journey started at 2018, and I never really started sharing my testimony or even posted anything until 2022, 4 years later, because I had to, it wasn't about anybody else. It was all about me. And I had to be certain of me, about why, how I'm doing it, and how I'm going to maintain and sustain it. And we can talk about all of that, but that's pretty much, love was my inspiration, and I wanted to live.
Amen. Thank you so much. That is awesome. Let me just go back. You said that at your highest weight, you were what?
280.
I thought that's what you said. And what is your height, if you don't mind me asking?
5'3". 5'3".
5'3" at 280.
Yes, and I want to, and while we're, you know, talking, I'm going to play around a little bit to see if I can get those pictures up so that you can see it, because when I show it to people, they were like, I never believed that you were that large.
Exactly. All of a sudden, I just saw a smaller Tasheka. I'm like, what is going on with Tasheka? But wow, that is so much of an accomplishment. Okay, we're going to get to that in a little bit more. But Karen, I want to bring Karen on. Karen has been one of our survivors that thrives. She received her award in 2021 through the Open My Heart Foundation. She is, let me just share a little bit about her background and her bio. It's right. Okay. Karen is a 2-time heart attack survivor. She was looking forward to celebrating her 5-year anniversary of her heart event. But in 2019, she had a second heart attack, this time while she was driving. She was diagnosed with what they call SCAD, spontaneous coronary artery dissection. And we're going to get to that in a little bit. But it's like a tear in your coronary artery. It's a rare type of heart attack, and she didn't fit the profile. But God had other plans for her. Now she is a part of an organization called 1 million. Is it 1 million Black vegan women?
10 million. 10 million.
10 million.
10 million Black. Yes.
Oh my goodness.
10 million.
Karen, can you just chime in and tell us what made you make such a drastic change? And has it been years? Is it something you did suddenly, or you've been thinking about it? And why did you do it?
I thank you so much, Florence, for asking me to come and to share my testimony. And I enjoyed so much hearing Dr. Tasheka's testimony. She said some things that are very similar to me. As you said, I'm a 2-time heart attack survivor, and I had no intentions of becoming a plant-based vegan, having that lifestyle. I was thrust into it because of my heart condition, high cholesterol, high blood pressure. So I had those three components working against me, and my doctors were concerned, and I understandably so. I'm a heart patient, and my cholesterol was high, and they wanted me to take statins. Well, I'm in that percentage of people, of the population. I have side effects from just about every medication. And I had already tried a plant-based statin, and the side effects were terrible. So I wasn't willing to chance it again with a pharmaceutical statin. And finally, my primary care doctor suggested that I do a vegan diet. And I think she threw it out there as a last resort, thinking I'd never do it. But I was determined. It wasn't out of love, but it was a determination that I wanted to get better and I wanted to thrive. I wanted to live. And so I started. I got books. I happened to mention it to a woman that I was working for, and she was the one that introduced me to Tracy McWhirter, who is the CEO and founder of 10 Million Black Vegan Women. And I'll talk about that a little later. So I was in the grocery stores reading labels. I mean, going to the grocery store took about 2 hours each time because it was just a totally different way of shopping, looking for ingredients I had never heard of and used before. So it was a challenge. It wasn't just about eating vegetables, but you wanted to eat something that was tasty and it was going to help you continue on your journey. And it is a journey being in the vegan lifestyle. I don't think I'll ever go back to eating meat or anything like animal products. It's a year for me now. April 7th was 1 year that I began the plant-based lifestyle. So I am continuing. I'm learning so much. I do not want to have another heart attack. I don't want to have a stroke, nor do I want to have I'm trying to get my hypertension down. So I'm monitoring it daily. And I have such a support group. The 10 Million Black Vegan Women is a wonderful, wonderful support group. And I was fortunate enough to meet Tracy McWhirter at the time that she was starting her 10 Million Black Vegan Women. She was getting ready to launch it. And she invited me to be part of that project. And how that happened was when I first met her, I told her that I was just starting the vegan journey and could she help me? She said she didn't do one-on-one training, but she supplied me with recipes and invited me to be a part of the 2-day Fresh Start. So I got some of her recipes from her first book that she wrote, which is By Any Greens Necessary. That this is her first book that she wrote. And I started. And I didn't cheat or anything for 3 months. Went back to my primary care doctor after 3 months. She did the blood work. My cholesterol had dropped 52 points. I sent an email to Tracy thanking her for her help and her support. And she was so amazed at my success. She invited me to be a part of that pilot program. So I'm a part of the, and I'm all over the internet. So I'm a part of the pilot for the 10 Million Vegan Black Women. But she started with, I think the first one was 10,000, and she far exceeded that faster than she had anticipated. When I joined, I think there were 15,000 Black vegan women. And one of the statistics that I've learned since I'm on this journey is that Black women make up 8% of that vegan populace. We are the largest group of vegan category, the Black women. Yep, 8%.
Wow. Thank you so much, Karen. What I'm hearing in both of you is that you tell a Black woman something and she's going to do it and she's going to prove you wrong. He told you, or your
I
doctor
was
said,
determined.
well,
Yes. Yes.
that's right. And you did it. And you did it. Wow. But you know, for the rest of us, let me just be real. People out there that are listening and say, come on now, I could never do that. I could never be a vegan. What are some of the challenges that either one of you faced in maintaining this healthy lifestyle? You want to go first, Dr. Green?
Absolutely, absolutely. And so some of the challenges that you face. And so I want to just add to one part that I said before I taught the challenges, because I think this will help you to overcome the challenges. So, you know, when I talk about, you know, I no longer, so I've been plant-based since 2018. So this has been 4 years for me. I no longer am on any of the medicines. Remember, I said I was on 4. I'm no longer pre-diabetes, high cholesterol. Right now, I just go to the cardiologist once a year. Love Dr. Hutchinson. You know, Dr. Hutchinson in Florence. And so,
oh, Dr. Barbara Hutchinson.
Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Go to see her only once a year. And you know, basically, you know, they said, whatever you're doing, just keep doing it. It's working. And so I want to go back to say that, good, we got the slides. Awesome. Oh, so you know, I want to go back to say God is a healer, right? But he gives you the wisdom that will save your life, because in Proverbs it says wisdom saves your life. And so when I said that, to say is that you overcome your challenges by tapping into that wisdom of knowing what to do and what's right for you. And so the one challenge that I think I had was just making sure that I was consistent with the things that I did, that I was disciplined and I was committed. And so as you are embracing this healthy lifestyle and you're making this transition, it goes back to, what is your why for doing it? Like, why do you want to do it? And address those questions. That's number one. What is your why? And then you can get to the how and the what, right? And I heard even Miss Karen said, I had someone to help me along this. And if you recall my story, I had someone to help me too. And so you should never go in this alone, or you should never go in with people that are not masters at their crafts. So the challenges are going to come up, because remember, you are transitioning your mindset. It is going to look different. It's going to sound different. It's going to be different. Whatever way you start your journey, it's going to be different. But you have to overcome that challenges with the wisdom that you have been given to you, making sure that you stay committed, that you are disciplined and you are consistent, and connect with an accountability partner or a coach or someone that can help you with this journey. And also be teachable. You know, be teachable. Even as I was doing some work this week, I realized that some people are teachable and some people are reachable. There is a difference. And so there is a difference between being teachable and reachable. And so you have to be in a position to say, listen, it is that serious and I need to be teachable so that I can learn. And so even as Ms. Karen said, you know, reading, I read up on, you know, the different things that I need to eat and things of that nature. Just because we're vegan plant-based, we eat real good. I'm about to show you some of these slides in a minute, but we eat real good. But it's what you eat and how you eat it. And so as Sharon, why do I keep calling you Sharon? You know, I keep calling you Sharon because I just got out of a meeting, and as Sharon was a part of that meeting, and she just followed up, and she's on my mind, and I have to get my mind clear. So Florence. So as you can see, Florence, as I shared with you my earlier pictures, the largest that I was, you could go back to the first.
Oh my goodness.
Exactly. And there's me. And then here now in 2022, as you can see there, that is where I am now. And, you know, like I said, I already shared with you the testimony, but no longer on the high blood pressure, pre-diabetes, cholesterol, and just under the care of the cardiologist, you know, just to watch and monitor. And so that's where I am, and some of the challenges and how to overcome that.
Dr. Tasheka, I'd like to ask you a question. How long were you on those medications? And after you started the plant-based discipline, how long was it before you were able to come off the medications?
Absolutely. So I was on those medications since I was in, I want to say college. I was on high blood pressure
Oh,
medicine at a very young age, at a very young age.
oh,
So that was about in
Wow.
1994, I graduated from college. So I was on it for a very long time. And I was hypertensive. And then of course,
yeah,
when I
Wow.
became pregnant, that increased
yeah,
it more. And I developed tachycardia
absolutely.
actually after my first child, my second child, my daughter, in
Okay,
2010. Exactly. And so that's what it was. And so once I took hold of, the changes, I actually came off of my last hypertensive medicine during the pandemic in April of 2020. Yeah. So
oh,
almost, yeah, that was the last one that they took me off. And when I was on that last one, hydrochlorothiazide, it was really
yeah,
more for fluid than anything else.
yeah,
And so not even, yeah, exactly. And so
it's a diuretic. Yes.
Absolutely. And I was eating the right things and eating things that were natural diuretics, So once you start to learn
Yes.
about the
Yeah.
foods, there are foods that are
Yeah.
natural diuretics. And I was
Right.
doing well. And so they just weaned me off and just told me to monitor, and I did. And
Oh,
thank the Lord for the healing and the wisdom and the people that He surrounded me in my life to help me with this.
amen.
That's good. Amen. Amen. So
Mhm.
let's get into it. You mentioned one of the medications that you were
Mhm.
on.
Mhm.
Can you mention, and Karen, you chime in as well, any other type? Because I want people to hear this.
Mhm.
People out there that are on the same types of
Mhm.
medications need to know you can come off through your
Mhm.
diet.
Mhm.
What
Mhm.
are some of the medications? Let's just go down the line.
I said, Karen, you want to go first?
Oh, okay. Well, that is my goal. One of my goals to come off these medications. I am on losartan, hydrochlorothiazide, hydroxyline, and clopidogrel. They put me on that as a blood thinner, and I am not happy about that. But the medications I just find are not really helping, and my blood pressure is still fluctuating. But I am determined to come off the medications. That is one of my goals. So I am so encouraged
Mhm.
to hear you say that, Dr. Tasheka. So I am
Absolutely.
swimming. I'm learning to swim. I'm exercising. I do yoga. I
Mhm.
walk, and I'm really very active. And I believe that because I had a pretty healthy diet lifestyle prior to the first heart attack,
Mhm.
I believe that's why God allowed me to survive both of them, because I was eating pretty healthy then. And now with the plant-based diet, I am learning so much. And like you said, natural diuretics
Mhm.
morning with a lemon water. And so I'm going down that path. And it's only been a year for me, but I am learning a lot. But those are the medications I'm taking right now, along with supplements. And hopefully I'll be able to come off. That's my
Absolutely.
goal. Hmm.
Absolutely. And my, like I was sharing, is there was lisinopril,
Oh,
metoprolol,
yeah.
hypochlorite.
Lisinopril is not good for Black people. That's one blood pressure medication that is not good for us. I had side effects from lisinopril. Yeah.
Mhm, mhm, and then like I said, the doctor just weaned me off, went from whatever the full dosage was to a half to no longer anymore. I
Awesome.
never had to take any, even though it's pre-diabetes, high cholesterol. They never put me on medicine for that. They again
Awesome.
just going back to just watch what you eat, things of that type of thing, and I did that. I made that change and everything, and so I never had to take any for those purposes. And like I said, and one thing that I think is good too is to build a relationship with your practitioner, because my
Yes.
practitioner also understood my health plan. So she knew that I had went plant-based. And so she made sure that she monitored me even every 6 months. She, monitored me to check blood levels and things of that nature to
Yeah.
make sure I had everything I needed in my system, and that I didn't need anything else. And so I was already taking some vitamins anyway. And so even after I was weaned off of the blood pressure medicine, the recommendation was, increase your magnesium, things like that,
Hmm.
take your vitamin your B12, all those type of things. So I, you know, just like Miss Karen was saying, I do have a cocktail of vitamins that I do take and everything, but it's the things that my body needed, you know, and things of that nature. So yeah, so that really is it. And just again, you know, if you want to put up, I know we're going to get to this in a few, Florence, about food. So I don't want to be ahead of this here, but you know, a lot of the foods, all the foods we eat, they have those nutritional things in it, so that, you know, you don't even have to take as much of the supplements as you need to take and things of that nature.
So can we talk about some of those foods?
Absolutely, absolutely. So this is another image of me doing my Zumba. But yes, yeah, so Zumba. So when you talk about exercise, that's one thing that I do again with Coach Rosalind Law. She does it in person or virtual. And so I tell people I don't have a busy life, but I have a purposeful life. And so sometimes it prohibits me to be as physical as I need. So as much as I can get in, I try to do either virtual or go downstairs to the equipment that I have. But what you see here on the screen is one of the meals that I love to prepare. Like, this is my favorite, because one of the myths that people say about being plant-based is that one, that it is too expensive. And then it also, you know, takes a long time and you have to cook. And then most people say, well, I don't know how to cook. Well, do you know how to read a recipe? Because if you can read a recipe, you can cook, you know? And so it's not a fact about, I don't know how to cook. Do you know how to read a recipe? Because, you know, that's, you know, so with that being said, there's some like foods that you should have every week in your diet. And so it's like a green onion, mushroom, beans, berries, seeds, and sprouts, right? You should have that in your diet some type of way every week. And so with that being, and it all has nutritional value that your body need. And so you can, you know, go and look at those different things. And so what I do is I buy this sweet kale chop salad from Sam's, and it has like Brussels sprouts and kales and all types of the power foods, and 8 of them that's in there. And I buy that every week, and I put that in a bowl, and then I add my cranberries, I add my pumpkin seeds, so my berries and my seeds. I even add bean sprouts as well for my sprouts, and I toss it all. And the only thing is, when you get that stuff, again, because you read the labels, and I'm a vegan, the little dressing that comes in it is not vegan. It's like a creamy dressing, but it has a lot of fat and has a lot of sugar and a lot of sodium. And so even if you're not vegan, plant-based, just throw the dressing away. And so I make my own dressing. And so I love this dressing that I make. And I didn't have the picture here, but I make this Asian ginger dressing. And it's simply carrots, celery, onion, ginger, garlic, a little bit of avocado oil, sesame oil, and a spritz of lemon. Blend it up, and it's so good. And I mix that with it. And if you want to make it creamy, I just add a little bit of vegan mayo to it and add it creamy. I make it creamy. Toss that, and there's my salad. I got everything in it. I got my greens. I got my onions I chop up, mushrooms if I want to chop up, my berries, my beans, my sprouts, and my seeds. Everything right there in that one set power salad. And then what you see here on the side are all of my ingredients for my for the vegan crab cake that's made out of heart of palm. Do you know what a heart of palm is?
Yes.
Exactly.
But go ahead and explain it.
Yeah, it's just what it says. It's the heart of the palm. It's a vegetable, and it has a lot of potassium in it and magnesium. And so you fixing it just like a crab cake. You with your Old-Bay seasoning, and I use the seaweed to give it the sea flavor, some garlic powder, onion powder, pepper. If you can see that bottle in the back, that is an infused avocado oil that's infused with some herbs and essential oils. And, you know, and so it's really, really good. And it's made also by Coach Rosalind Law. She makes a lot of these different things because she is a coach. She's an herbologist. She's certified in everything. So she makes a lot of her products, and she makes that. And then the little jar in the bottom is called a Spice of Life. Is another product that she makes with turmeric and other types of seasoning herbs. So as you can see, there is no salt there. There's no salt. Even the organic sesame snacks is, I think, sea salt with just a little, not little, and then the hearts of palm that's in the can, you know, to rinse them off and everything. So there's no salt. And then on the back there behind the organic seaweed snack is unsalted crackers. And so just like we make crab cake, you're going to put your unsalted crackers in it, your obey, your seasoning, and you're going to put your little bit of vegan mayo, and you're going to mix it up. And then I put a little bit of that avocado oil in a pan and pat them out, put them up, and they're so good. And so again, that's another vegan heart of palm crab cake. And if you go to the next slide, I think we have pictures of the finishing of what that looks like exactly. So that's the salad, and then that's the vegan heart of palm crab cake on top of the salad, and it's so good. And actually, I had it this week, but I also had some broccoli. I had some green beans. I had some squash. And then, you know, people are like, well, what do you eat for a snack? And my snacks are usually, I love pumpkin seeds. So I snack on pumpkin seeds, kale chips, things of that nature. I make spinach chips. Everything I do, when I do it from scratch. So this week I even made my own cranberry sauce with cranberries and things of that nature. And it's amazing because my children, one of my children, my son, actually would never, before all of this, would never eat. He was very picky. He would just eat like stuff that I gave him. And one thing you're going to have to do when you start this mindset change, you're going to have to help everyone in the home. So my children and my husband, they still eat like lean protein, like fish and chicken and stuff like that. So I had already stopped eating meat back in 1994. Remember, I told you when all my hypertension problems started to evolve, I stopped eating red meat then. And so I was only eating, you know, protein and fish and chicken and turkey and stuff like that. And so my family was the same. And with that being said, they still do eat that. But the things that I fix for like side dishes are all vegan, plant-based. And so my son, who's 9 now, he wouldn't eat anything else. And I realized he's not eating it because I'm not giving it to him. You know, he's eating these processed foods because that's all we have in the house, or we're going out to fast food restaurants and he's eating it. And the doctor said, well, you need to take him to a pediatric nutritionist. I'm like, no, I don't. No, I don't. I'm going to do just like my mama did. You either going to eat this food or you not. But guess what? You won't get nothing else until it's gone. And if you come back, that's what's going to be here. And so when I started to give the homemade foods that I cook by my hand with love and organic, I loved it, you know. And so I go back to say the homemade cranberry sauce, homemade applesauce that I make, all of my desserts. One of the things that's next on the slide, Florence, is a vegan double chocolate chip fudge cookie. Did I put it up there? Maybe it's there. It is. Yes, yes. Everybody loves my vegan double fudge chocolate chip cookies, and they are very good. And so, you know, far as sugar. When you think about sugar causes a lot of different ailments in your body. But the sugars that I use come from the plant. So like, you know, coconut nectar, agave nectar. I even use organic raw cane sugar because it comes, but and you know, I just reduce it. So if the recipe says to put a cup, don't put a cup. Put like 3/4 of a cup or half a cup. Just reduce it, you know, and everything, because in the cacao powder. So besides using the cocoa, use cacao powder because cacao is the bean where the cocoa, where it come from. And so just even that. So yes, you know, this week I made for them a vegan sweet potato pie and a vegan peach cobbler. And we put on top of it some coconut whipped cream, which has like 5 calories and no sugar. So, you know, so you can do this, but it all just goes back to the mindset of knowing what you're eating, how you're eating it, also know what's in it and the benefits that it really gives your body.
Wow, that is a lot. So Karen, do you have any things that you like to cook or prepare, and how easy or difficult is it in preparing these things?
The first
she could talk about the expense. Like people say it's expensive, you know, it's a lot of different excuses or whatever that people might have. But what types of things do you prepare, and how challenging or difficult is it, or is it easy?
Initially, it was difficult for me because I was preparing 2 meals. She was talking about her son and her husband. My husband is a very picky eater, and he doesn't do vegan. He does, however, love the vegan desserts that I prepare. And he's also eating the Impossible Burger. So those are steps for me, for him, in the right direction. I don't use a lot of processed vegan things because the sodium levels are so high. So I make most of my things as well, like black bean burgers. I make those. I've also made that crab cake, the heart of palm crab cake, absolutely delicious. I have an Instapot. I just got it. I cook my greens in there. I eat a lot of leafy green vegetables. I eat a lot of beets. I've been making my own cranberry sauce for years, since the 90s. And now when I make it, it's vegan, because I'm using organic cranberries, organic sugar, like she mentioned, Dr. Tasheka mentioned. And there are a lot of different things that I do make. I make a corn chowder soup, which I love, lentil meatballs, and over pasta, vegan pasta. I've done that. It's just, I love roasted Brussels sprouts. I make that quite often. And one of the myths, Dr. Tasheka spoke about myths that are adherent to people who go vegan, like we don't get enough protein. Well, one thing, if you think about it, we're taking out the middleman, and the middleman for the protein is the animal. The animal's eating the vegetables that's how he gets his protein. So we're getting our protein straight up, because we're going to the vegetable and taking out the middleman, which is the animal. So if we think about it that way, we're not really lacking in vitamins and proteins and things like that. We're getting it. And I do mostly preparing my own foods. I buy very little already made vegan foods. I make my own, because I can control how much sodium, how much sugar. I use the guava nectar also. It's wonderful. And the oils, I can control that. Sometimes there's this thing now where they're saying we don't need to use so much oil when we're cooking. We can use water to do our cooking, or we can use vegetable broth. So sometimes you can cut some of the oils out if you want to. And I eat a lot of cauliflower. I've done that. It's just delicious. A spicy cauliflower. And it looks like, once I fix it and put it in all the spices and everything, it kind of looks like fried chicken. Yeah.
Wow, wow. That is awesome. Look, I'm jotting down some things right here. You talked about lentil meatballs,
Oh,
black
yes, with
bean
oatmeal.
burgers.
Oh my gosh, it is delicious. And you buy, oh, it's
Okay.
just delicious. Yeah.
I'm getting excited. I'm getting excited. Tasheka talked about spinach chips, kale chips, pumpkin seeds. All of that is so good. And the heart of palm crab cakes, I really have to try that.
Delicious.
And yes, I do make the kale salad. Everybody loves my kale salad. I do put some type of seeds in there. Whether it's pumpkin seeds or sesame seeds. I love using ginger. I do use ginger a lot with smoothies in the morning. I will have smoothies with like kale. And I want to talk about some quick shortcut ways, because we are so used to fast foods because everyone is busy and we pick up foods as we're on our way somewhere or coming back home, so we don't have to cook. What are some shortcut ways? If you're not a homemaker or you're not able to be home all the time, you're busy, busy, busy. And it seems like a lot of preparation goes into this type of lifestyle. What would you offer people? Go ahead.
I would offer batch cooking. And in batch cooking, you maybe you have a Saturday or a Sunday afternoon where you can prepare a large amount of food, a couple of dishes, and then you can freeze it. And it's in your freezer. And you could take it out in the morning or before you go to work, or in the evening when you come home, stick it in the oven, and you have a meal. And it hasn't, and then maybe you have a salad on the side, and you don't have to worry about preparing something every night. I've learned about batch cooking. That's one way of easing the drudgery, if you will, of cooking every evening. Dr. Tasheka, what do you think?
Absolutely. And so I always tell people it's not what I'm eating, it's what have you prepared. And so it's the past tense and not the present tense. And so as Dr. Karen, look, I want to call her Dr. Karen because she is sharing so much information tonight as well. As Miss Karen has been sharing, that, you know, it's really what you prepared, and you have to prioritize yourself. You're the most important person. You know, so, you know, dispel that myth about it's too important. Well, I mean, too expensive. Well, how much are you worth? You know, you have to look at yourself like, I'm worth it. I'm important. I have to prioritize what matters the most, and my health matters. And so in all of your, you know, being purposeful, and I'd rather say, you know, that than busy, you have to prioritize and set the time aside to prepare what you need for the week. And so usually I take that time either on Saturday or Friday, and I actually prepare for the week, go even down to chopping up all of my fruits for my smoothies, fruits and vegetables for my smoothies. And I do use protein powder in that. So as you know, we were talking about how do you get your protein. I do use that, and you get protein and things of that nature. And so all of my smoothies I have, all of the sides, all of the snacks, all of them, everything is prepared so that when it comes a time, I'm not trying to figure out what am I eating. It's what have I prepared and what do I want, because I have options. And if I do happen to go out and do something, then of course I'm going to still do plant-based, and also, you know, go to restaurants that serve plant-based meals. And if they don't, have them created for you. You're their customer. They're providing you the service. And so you go in, and I let my server always know that I am vegan plant-based. Can you please let the chef or the cook know that I'm vegan plant-based, also have a few allergies, and please let me know what I can have on the menu. And then they come back out and tell me what I can have. And if it's something I can have, well, can you create this? And then they create it for me with no problem, because remember, you are the customer and you're giving them service. And so just because they put the menu in front of you, you ask them the questions and they come back. And so, and sometimes, Florence, I even had the chef come out to the table and tell me and things of that nature. And so I go back to saying, like, who are you? And you are worth it. You are worth changing your lifestyle and being a better you. And you have to look at it that way and not just settle for what you have been given all the time, and not even settle, but not just sell out to what you think is going to work, because you really have to have that health, that mindset, because the inside is going to manifest on the outside. And like I say, stay committed, disciplined, and consistent. Don't wait another minute to start. Just start now, because I think I said this week, if you have the courage to begin, you have the confidence to succeed. And so just go ahead and start, and know that we are here to support you along that journey.
Wow, awesome. I think I might have asked Melissa's question, but Melissa is on. Thank you for joining us, Melissa. And she says, I don't like to cook. How would I get started a plant-based lifestyle? Because I don't even like cooking.
Right. And the thing is, a lot of it, if you really want to talk about it, you don't even cook. So if you want to really be a hardcore plant-based, you eat raw. You eat raw. So, you know, you don't even cook a lot of things, you know.
But it has to taste good.
It does have to taste good, but also that's why you have the infused avocado oil. If you want to drizzle it a little bit, you know, you want to make some hummus. Hummus is nothing but the chickpeas, right? Or garbanzo beans. You make your own homemade hummus and dips and things of that nature. And that's just put it in a food processor or blender. Put a little bit of the seasons that you like. If you want to make it Chipotle, if you want to put your red peppers, things of that nature. And also, you know, just like you say, I know that you may not like to cook, but is it enough for you to cook to say, hey, I deserve this, and I deserve to have a healthier lifestyle, and make that change? And then what to cook. And so going plant-based, you know, it's like, okay, do I just jump in, feed first, or do I gradually? And I encourage you to do it gradually. And so, you know, start with like a meatless Monday. and start with like maybe on Wednesday, just drinking, smoothies, 2 smoothies and replacing those 2 meals and things of that nature, and gradually grow into the process. Because I tell people all the time, what was the most hard, you want to talk about a challenge? It was giving up that Starbucks. Okay. I was going to Starbucks twice a day, spending $14 times what, 7 days a week.
Oh my
That's
goodness.
$98. And I was getting a venti, decaf caramel macchiato with all this milk, all this whipped cream, all this caramel, right? None of that is vegan, and it causes all this other stuff, cholesterol and all that stuff. And it was a challenge because I would pull in the parking lot, be like, yes, you can. No, you can't. Yes, you can. Girl, you know you want this. Yes, you can. Leave out this parking lot and leave right now. First of all, let's think about $98 a week. You know how many fruits and vegetables stuff I can go buy for $98? And truth be told, the way meat costs right now, vegan plant-based is much better. Okay, let's be honest.
Okay.
If you don't buy everything, fresh, buy organic frozen foods. Don't, the cans have a lot of sodium. So if you're gonna buy something and you can't, do it fresh, buy the organic frozen things. And like I said, when I do buy my fresh and make my smoothies, I cut them up and I have them right in the freezer. I have right now, I'm thinking of 4 bags full of things in the freezer that I can just choose from. Do I want a kale berry smoothie today? Do I want, a green spinach one? Do I want my beet juice? Just mix it up and have some fun, and forgive yourself. Hey, if you start and you fall down, guess what? Get back up and try it again and keep it simple. Don't try to make it such a big process for you. Start somewhere. And if you want to start just with your meatless Monday, start there and just gradually work your way in the process. And let me tell you something. People, were like, like you said, you lost so much weight and you're off these medicines and things like that. I just said it was the benefit that came with me changing my mindset. That was all. All these things were just the benefits that I got because I would change my mindset and the way I thought about things.
Right. Wow, that is awesome. One of the things before we wrap things up, I do want to touch on some of the things that are good for you. And do either one of you want to talk about that? I know like carrots is good for your eyes, walnut is good for your brains, things like that. The ginger, flaxseed, the different types of things that avocados I heard you talk about. What are some of the kale we talked about? What are some of the foods and herbs or anything that we talked about that people should be aware of that have healing benefits? We know about ginger. We know a little bit about turmeric. Any things that you could talk about there?
Absolutely.
Either one of you.
So let's just start going back to that list that I told you: the greens, the onions, the mushrooms, the berries, the beans, the sprouts, and the seeds, right? So when you think about your greens that you have, your greens, first of all, they're going to actually give you some of your protein, but it's going to give you some of those vitamins that you need to, like the vitamin C, vitamin C from certain green vegetables. As people are thinking that I can only get it from my orange juice and my fruit. No, your vitamin C, your vitamin K, all of those different things, potassium, your onions. When you think about your onions and mushrooms, they're good antioxidants that fight against certain with cancerous cells and things like that. So think about that, your onions and your mushrooms. Also onions for blood pressure, garlic for blood pressure and cholesterol, things of that nature. Seeds and sprouts. Why seeds and sprouts? Because guess what? Seeds are where everything comes from. Sprout is where everything comes from. That's where the nutrients is. It's not in when it flourishes and becomes, whatever it is. It's right there in the seed and the sprout. So that's where you're getting all of your nourishment from, the seed and the sprout. And then, of course, your berries, of course, with your vitamin C and your, vitamin A's, all those type of things that your body needs, magnesium and everything, the iron. So when you think about it, all those benefits impact everything about you, the high cholesterol, the hypertension, like we said, the benefits of mushrooms and things that have been researched about cancer and stuff like that. So blood, beets are good for blood circulation. And so, one thing I didn't share is when I actually started this journey, I did a lot of intermittent fasting as well. And so I would always try to not like eat after 7 and then eat my first meal at around 11. But my first meal was always like a smoothie or something like that and a salad. It still was nothing like heavy or something like that. So I did put that into my lifestyle as well, to do more intermittent fasting during that time when I first started out. And then another product, you know, some things we just can't give up. Like I like cheese. When I was eating, I love cheese, but cheese will run your cholesterol up, right? And so what we use, Miss Karen knows this, what we use is called nutritional yeast. And nutritional yeast has a lot of good sources in it, like potassium and the protein in it and all the things. And it has a high percentage of it as well. And so with that being said, the nutritional yeast is used to give your give your food a cheesy flavor. It also can help to make the cheesy creams and things of that nature. And I use all of my plant-based non-dairy products are coconut. And so, you know, you can use your almond, you can use your oat, whatever you choose to use. I use coconut because I do have some allergies to other nut products. So I use coconut milk, I use coconut, you know, cream, coconut yogurt, you know, things of that nature. I still use vegan butter, you know, if it's called for, some butter and stuff like that. And so, you know, what I always tell people is when you're ready to cook your favorite meal, look at the recipe and say, how do I substitute this for vegan plant-based? Because it can be done. I mean, you know, you name it. Macaroni and cheese. What did I fix this week for the family? Macaroni and cheese they had sweet potato casserole, things of that nature. You can do it, but you just have to think, instead of anything that comes from an animal, even honey is not vegan, because honey's, you know, they mate to form the honey. And so anything that comes from the animal, anything that mates to form something, that's not vegan. And so anything you take in your recipe, just substitute those things for something that is vegan, plant-based, or like I said, non-dairy. But go get yourself some nutritional yeast, mix it up with your kales, put a little bit of avocado oil. And
I have nutritional yeast.
Yes. Yes, exactly.
I learned about that years ago.
On everything.
Yes.
And so, you know, people say, you know, some things I just can't give up. Yes, you can. Yes, you can give them up, and you can look for substitutes. Exactly.
And one of the things I learned is when I do eat out, if I do get any type of vegan food, I always ask them, what did you put in this?
Yes.
And I learned many years ago, as I was recovering from my heart attack, about E-Life vegan restaurant.
Yes.
And when I eat things, I always ask what is in it, so I could know. So I like to go home and try it for myself. So, I mean, what closing words can you give people? We'll start with you, Karen. To someone that's just used to running out here buying some fast food, don't have time to cook, don't have time for this, that, and the other, but really need to make some drastic changes.
Well, when you need to make drastic changes, you need to take the time. You need to make time for yourself. And you have to know why you want to make those changes. And that why will always stay in front of you. That'll be your goal. For me, I didn't want to have another heart attack. So that was my why. So I needed to do this in order to not have that happen again. So I would say the why is the most important thing. You can't just start something and not know why you're doing it. And for those people who don't cook, I would go along with what Dr. Tasheka said, you know, start very simple. I didn't start simple. I went in gung ho, but start out something simple, like at night, a simple meal for me, if I'm not going to cook, is I'll put a sweet potato in the oven. I'll have some greens or salad on the side and a glass of water with lemon juice. And I may even have vegan cornbread with it. So that's a meal, and it's very hearty and it's very satisfying. And it's satisfying enough that I don't go back for a snack later. So you can do simple things. Nice salads. Oh my gosh, I have had some wonderful salads for dinner and for lunch, and they're so filling.
Yeah.
So there are, and that is true vegan, as Dr. Tasheka said, because it's raw, and that's the best way is to eat raw.
All
Yep.
right. Closing encouraging words or to help people, Dr. Green.
Yeah. So Florence, my mantra for this year simply is a dream manifested, a dream manifested is a kept promise. And so what you need to do is keep your promises to you. So if you said that you are going to do it, just do it. Don't get distracted. Don't get discouraged. Don't be deceived. Don't let fear try to contaminate your soul. Just do what you need to do to keep your promise to you. Nobody else. It's not for anybody else. It's not to be shown so that you can get the 2-piece bikini and go to Miami and sit on the beach. No, it's for you, because you know, like Miss Karen said, you know why. You know why you need to do it. And so you need to keep your why to yourself. So a dream manifested is a kept promise. Keep your promise to you.
Thank you guys so much. This was awesome. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for just using your voice as a part of your testimony and your journey. Not just about cooking, but the mindset. Like you said, it's transformational. This is where I was. This is where I've been. These were my health conditions. This is the medication I got off. You know, that's very, very important. We are all on this journey together, including myself. So I'm always looking for ways. How can I get better? How can I improve? And then I got to go tell it. You know, you got to share it. You got to tell everybody. So that's why we're here today. Thank you so much again for joining us. And I hope you guys got something out of it. And I pray that you stay safe, you stay healthy, you prosper. And join us again next month is, well, it's a lot of different things, but one of the things we'll be doing is National Nutrition Week, May 8th through the 14th. And we're going to do some yoga, and we're going to do some line dancing and get our bodies moving for that week as well. So thank you again, guys, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time. Oh, so you can go to www.openmyheartfoundation.org. That is our website. And if you would like to share any contact information, Dr. Green, and even yourself, Karen, as far as the 10 million vegan women or anything like that, please share.
Okay, will do. Thank you.
Absolutely. And you can reach me at Tasheka Green. You can find me on social media, Tasheka Green. And my website is www.2eseasons.com. So Google Tasheka Green and you'll find me, Tasheka L. Green.
Okay. And you, Karen?
I'm really not on social media. They can contact me at one of my email addresses. Florence, you have it.
Okay. Yeah. And what about the 10 million Black vegan women?
If you Google that, you will come up with the information. You'll get their website, or you could put in Tracy McQuirter's name, and her name is spelled Tracy, Tracye, McQuirter, McQuirter.
Okay.
So either her name or 10 million Black vegan women, either way, you'll get her.
Okay. Dr. Paul Underwood is on the line. He said, fantastic presentation. And he thanks you guys so much. And Melissa Obama says that she appreciates all of your knowledge. And thank you for sharing. God bless, guys, and have a great evening. Thank you again. And we need to do this again.
Absolutely. Thank you.
God bless.
God bless. Thank you for
meeting you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Florence.